What happens when the person holding everything together is the one quietly falling apart? That question came to me one morning and stayed longer than I expected, lingering in a way that felt impossible to ignore. Before I tell you what changed, you need to understand something first. I didn't just end up like this. I was raised this way. My name is Emma Carter, and my day begins at 4:45 a.m., not because I want it to, but because it feels necessary. At that hour, the world is still, and for a brief moment, there is a fragile kind of peace. But it never lasts. The lights come on and everything begins: coffee, breakfast, lunches, laundry. My hands move from one task to another without thought, following a routine that has become automatic. I think it started long before this house, long before this life. Growing up, I was always told to be helpful, to be the good one, the one who adjusts, who doesn't argue, who makes things easier for everyone else. I heard things like, don't be difficult, learn to adjust, and family comes first, so often that I stopped questioning them. No one ever said it was okay to say no. No one explained that responsibility could be shared. No one warned me that always saying yes could slowly make you disappear. So I learned to give, and I never learned when to stop. By the time the rest of the house wakes up, I have already been moving for hours. Then come the voices, one after another, asking, expecting, assuming. There are no greetings, no pause, just needs waiting to be met. And I meet them, not because I have to, but because I don't know how not to. That is the strange thing about being dependable. People stop checking on you. They assume you are fine, capable, steady, and when you never show otherwise, that assumption becomes permanent. By midday, the house is in order, errands are done, bills are handled, and small problems are taken care of before anyone else even notices them. By evening, I am cooking dinner, helping with homework, and responding to complaints that seem small on their own but never really stop. None of it is loud or dramatic, but over time, it adds up. Quietly, it wears something down inside you. No one notices when I skip meals or lean against the counter just to catch my breath. I never say anything, and silence has a way of convincing everyone that nothing is wrong. Until one night, I caught my reflection in the microwave door and froze. I didn't look upset or even tired. I looked absent, like parts of me had slowly faded without me realizing. I touched my face and whispered, "When did I disappear?" And for the first time, another thought followed. Why didn't anyone teach me how not to? How not to carry everything, how not to give endlessly, how to say that something is too much. There was no answer. Maybe they didn't know either. Maybe they were raised the same way, passing it forward without realizing what it becomes. The next morning felt no different until something small changed everything. A plate slipped from my hands while I was washing dishes and shattered on the floor. The sound was sharp and sudden. Someone called out for me to be careful, but I didn't move. I just stood there staring at the broken pieces, and something became clear. That plate felt familiar, used every day without question, expected to hold everything, and the moment it breaks, it becomes a problem. Replaceable. For the first time, I didn't push the feeling away. I let it stay. That night, after the house went quiet, I sat at the kitchen table with nothing left to do. No noise, no interruptions, just space. Instead of planning for the next day, I picked up a pen. My hand hesitated before I wrote a single sentence. I can't do this anymore. It wasn't anger, it was honesty. The next morning, I didn't change everything or make a big announcement. I made one small change. When someone called for me, I said I would do it in a few minutes. When another request came, I said I needed a moment. And when everything started piling up again, I said something I had never said before. I can't do everything alone. The reaction wasn't immediate understanding. There was confusion and a little frustration, because this wasn't the version of me they were used to. For a moment, I almost went back to fixing everything, but I didn't. And something unexpected happened. Nothing fell apart, the house didn't stop functioning, and life didn't collapse. People adjusted slowly and imperfectly, but they did. They started doing small things themselves, waiting a little longer, asking a little differently. And for the first time, everything didn't rest entirely on me. Days turned into weeks, and something inside me began to shift. I sat down when I was tired without guilt. I ate when I was hungry without waiting for everything else to be done. I spoke when something felt unfair, even if my voice wasn't steady. Slowly, I began to feel present again, not just someone who manages everything, but someone who actually exists within it. One evening, I stood by the window, watching the sky fade into soft shades of orange and gold. The house was quiet, but this time the quiet felt light. And in that moment, something settled inside me. I was never meant to carry everything on my own. This wasn't just about others expecting too much. It was also about what I had never been taught. I was taught how to give, but not how to stop, how to care, but not how to protect myself. Maybe no one intended for it to become this way. But that doesn't mean it has to continue. I can learn something different. I can say no. I can share the responsibility. I can choose myself without guilt. The weight didn't disappear, but I learned how to set it down, because invisible burdens aren't invisible because they are small. They remain unseen because no one notices them, and no one notices if you never stop carrying them. But the moment you do, even just a little, everything begins to change. Now give me thumbnail image idea for this story, also title,